I remember it like it was yesterday, only it was 50 years ago, the spring of 1966, and there I was in Stagecoach Road Elementary School, and the buzzer went off. Now, we had particular codes for particular buzzers. It wasn't the buzzer to go home. It wasn't the buzzer for lunch. It was the buzzer to get under the desk and cover your head, because the commies were going to drop a bomb on us. And I remember that was the day everything changed for me, because Stagecoach Road Elementary School had all glass. Every window was, you could see the street, the entire wall was glass. And we had little desks, little first grade desks. I was under that desk all curled up, and I said to myself, who are they trying to kid? If a bomb lands on our head, that glass is not going to stop it, neither is this desk. And that big fat principal is not under his desk. I became a dinosaur. I went home. My mother said, eat your peas, there's starving people in China. Give me more peas, Ma, another helping. I'll starve them commies. So I did. That was my way to get even for them dropping a bomb on my head. 2 years later, more memories. 1968. What a year. Assassinations, war, drugs. I'm in a new school. No joke, the school was called the Cluster School. Don't laugh. It was brand new. Everything that I went through in my life was brand new in education. Every year, it was a new education because the old one didn't work. And here I am in the new school, and I remember, well, there's a big picture of a needle. And you in there, don't be a dope. And I'm watching Dragnet, and Blue Boy is high on drugs, and I'm going to be a vegetable because of the gateway drugs. I was going to be one of them. At 8 years old, I'm in a panic because I learned that I start off with candy kisses. Pretty soon, candy bars. Then up to the hard stuff, sweet tarts, candy cigarettes. Candy cigarettes leads to regular cigarettes, marijuana, pills, heroin, and I'll be a zombie. So I decided I was not going to eat candy. I was going to be careful because I didn't want it to lead to a horrible existence. 2 years later, 1970, the draft lottery. September 16th is the first date picked. September 16th is my birthday. And I'm going to be drafted pretty soon, at the age of 10. And that was when I decided, the hell with that, I'm eating candy. So I went wild. Whose fault was this? It wasn't my fault. It was society giving a kid a heart attack. I remember they came out and they said, you want to go out trick-or-treating for UNICEF? Anybody know what that is? The United Nations Children's Fund, yes. And we all had to go around, they gave us little boxes, and there was a video, it was a film back then, go around trick-or-treat for UNICEF, save these poor starving kids all over the world, trick-or-treat for UNICEF, trick-or-treat for UNICEF. So we're going around, trick-or-treat for UNICEF, you get 2 pennies. And that was the second day that I grew. Because I heard that Mr. Johnson was giving away quarters. So I took that box and I put it in my bag and I walked up, trick or treat for Christopher. I'm getting a quarter, UNICEF can get the pennies. That was when I realized that I was different than the rest of the world. It was also my parents' fault because I was a third child. If you're a third child, you know what I'm talking about. The first child is born and it's a beautiful child. They bring it home, that child is going to save the world, it's going to be a concert pianist, it's going to be a doctor. And they spill the milk. Oh no, they spilled the milk. Oh, you can't pour your own milk because you spilled it. We'll have to pour your milk. So my parents are pouring my brother's milk. And then a few years later, my sister comes along. Another beautiful child, a beautiful princess. And she is going to save the world and be a concert pianist. And she spills the milk too. Oh no, you spilled the milk. You can't pour milk. So my parents are pouring milk for my sister. They're pouring milk for my brother. They're in little air bubbles. They can't go outside and play. They're neurotic children. Going to private school, getting private lessons in music and gymnastics and everything you could ever imagine. And then 10 years later, by accident, I come along. And my parents are tired. And I spilled the milk, and my mother said, you spilled the milk? I said, don't worry, Mom, there's more at the store. I was a little smartass. And since they were worn out by my brother and sister, they let me run wild. And they would open the door, and I would go out and run wild. And I didn't have to have any friends, because being a third child, I didn't have any self-esteem. I didn't get it from friends. I got it from television. I remember coming home in the evening, watching reruns, Rawhide. Ride him in, get him up, move him out, Rawhide. Watching Rocky and Bullwinkle, gonna beat those commies. Spent my whole life trying to beat the commies. And because I was a dinosaur and was different, I am what you see today. Now today's kid cannot do what we did. When I would go out and I'd skid my knee, we wouldn't go home. What happens if you skin your knee and you go home? You gotta stay home. So we would put some dirt on it and keep playing. But now a kid skins his knee, he's gotta go home, he's gotta go to the doctor, he's gotta have therapy. You look at a child today, I go there, I have a newspaper, I take the newspaper, I put it in the garbage can. They said, oh, you threw the newspaper in the garbage can. I said, well, you want to throw it on the ground? No, you got to throw it in the special can, otherwise the world's going to end. Today's kids are not dinosaurs. It's only me and a few of my fellow dinosaurs, and we can spot each other in the audience because we are tough, and we understand when we are being kidded. We understand that things aren't important. We understand that the world is not going to come to an end if I pick paper over plastic, because we are today's living, breathing dinosaurs. And that is my story.